Welcome back. We are on topic 8, student activity sheet 2, solving linear equations. Okay, now some of this should be review for you guys. Hopefully you did the review the other day, but we're going to kind of intro into some more difficult types of equations here. Again, we're going to be off Agile Mind for a little bit, but still working through their activity sheets. So the first question says to solve the equation x plus 2 equals 7 algebraically. That just means, guys, with numbers. Whoops, lost my lights. With numbers. Okay, now go ahead and cross off this whole using two different methods. And we're also not going to list the properties. Let's just solve this. Okay, our first problem here. Now with this, guys, remember back in like first grade, your teacher would say a box plus 2 equals 7, and you had to figure out what number went in the box to make 7. This is the same exact idea. The only thing, guys, is that we've replaced the box with a letter. We're still going through the same steps that you did here, okay? However, we're just putting a full process to it, okay? So let's go ahead and see what my steps are. Because this says plus 2, I want to do the opposite of minus 2. And as a reminder, whatever you do on one side, you absolutely must do to the other side. We've got to keep these equations balanced, okay? And when I do that, my plus 2 and minus 2 cancel to make a 0. And it says x plus 0 equals 5. Well, guys, we don't walk around and say, I have $5.00. We just say, I have $5. So we're just going to write that as x equals 5. So now we have the problem that says 15D equals 300. Guys, that is just a fancy schmancy way of saying 15 times D equals 300. If you need to put that dot in there, do it. Please don't use an X, though. We're a little bit past that. Guys, whenever you see a number butted up right next to a letter like that, that's multiplication. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at how we do this. Again, that means 15 times D equals 300. Well, what is the opposite operation of multiplication? That would be division. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 15. Guys, don't do this in your head. Don't think that us math teachers are doing this in your head. Use a calculator. Calculators are our friends. 300 divided by 15 equals 20, okay? That 15 over 15, that cancels. 15 divided by 15 equals 1D. That's what our goal is, guys. We just don't write that one there. And so we say that D equals 20. Moving on, we're getting a little bit more difficult. You may recognize this right here. This is our problem that we used on our activity sheet 1 with the dune buggy rentals, okay? Guys, it's just decimals. Again, we're using a calculator. Why are we worried about decimals? Don't be. So let's take a look at this, okay? Always, guys, remember our ultimate goal is to get this letter by itself. You always want to get rid of whatever is being added or subtracted to it. In this case, that's the $29.95. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, because it's a positive $29.95, I'm going to subtract $29.95 on this side to cancel it. Because I do it here, I must do it over here. When I do that, I get my 0 plus 16m. Again, guys, we can forget about that 0 plus. And that just gives me my 0.16m equals $45.05. Now we can get rid of that 16 cents to figure out how many miles exactly we can drive. Okay, so because it's multiplication, we're going to divide both sides. 0.16 divided by 0.16, that cancels and leaves me with just 1m. And that would be 281 miles and 0.5625. 281.5625 miles. We just write that as a single m. Okay. On the back, number 4, guys, cross that off. Cross that off. We're not going through those steps. Let's take a look at number 5. Now, you'll notice right away, guys, I see I've got letters and numbers on both sides. So I'm going to give you some steps here to work through first, okay? Step 1, plus or minus are letters to one side. Me personally, I prefer the left side, and I'll show you guys why in a second. Step 2 is to plus or minus our plain numbers. So the number is not attached to letters to the other side. In this case, because I move mine to the left, that means that these ones are going to move to the right side. Okay, and then step 3, if it's multiplication is all that's left, then we divide. So let's take a look. Step 1, I said to plus or minus our letters to one side. Again, I prefer the left. So I'm going to move this 3x, move the whole thing to the other side. Because it's a positive 3x, I'm going to minus 3x. Take it over here. I have to do like terms. Put it with the other x. Okay, don't try to be subtracting that from a 4. You can't do it. Stop, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Do not try to put those together. Okay, that leaves me with 2x plus 4 equals 8. Now, my second step says to plus or minus our plain numbers to the other side. Because I move my letters to the left, I need to get this 4 to the right side. Because it's a plus 4, that means I have to minus 4 on both sides. 4 minus 4, 0. It's gone. And I'm left with 2x equals 4. Again, guys, that's 2 times x. And then step 3, if it says multiplication is all that's left, well, that's what we got. We must divide. So 2 divided by 2 gives me 1x. Remember, that's our goal. And 4 divided by 2 equals 2. A way that you can remember this, guys, my fancy little song, you get your letters to the left and your numbers to the right. Get your letters to the left and your numbers to the right. Add or subtract, then multiply, divide. Okay? Get your letters to the left. Get your numbers to the right using addition, subtraction. Step 3, when we see multiplication, that means we divide. Okay? So let's go through some of these together. As a reminder, guys, I gave you the steps here. Okay, plus or minus our letters to the left, plus or minus our numbers to the right, multiply or divide to get the letter alone. Let's do step 1 here. I need to plus or minus my letters to the left. So my letter that's got to move to the left-hand side is this 3x, which means I'm going to minus 3x on both sides. Again, we can only combine letters with letters. So 1x minus 3x is negative 2x. Drop down that plus 4. 3x minus 3x gone. Bring down the 8. Step 1 done. Step 2, plus or minus our numbers to the right. Well, my number that has to go to the right-hand side is that plus 4. So I'm going to minus 4 on both sides. 4 minus 4 gone. Bring down that minus 2x, and 8 minus 4 is 4. Step 3, multiply or divide to get the letter alone. I see multiplication here, which means I have to divide. Be careful with your negatives. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 leaves me with just x. 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. Let's go ahead and look at letter B here. Letter B. Step 1, plus or minus our letters to the left. So my letter that has to move to the left is this 1x. Remember, guys, if it's single, then you got to put a 1 with it. If it's single, then you got to put a 1 with it. Okay, so I need to move that 1x because it's positive. I'm going to subtract it. Subtract it. That cancels. I'm left with 1x plus 3 equals negative 2. Step 2, plus or minus our numbers to the right. So my number that has to go to the right is that plus 3. I am going to minus 3 on both sides. 3 minus 3, gone. 1x equals negative 5. Again, guys, watch your negative signs here, please. With that said, the last step is to multiply or divide to get the letter alone. Now, guys, my letter is alone. This is our goal, a 1x, okay? But if it makes you feel better about life of going through the motion, you can divide that by 1 and we get just x equals negative 5. Again, same exact answer here, but if it makes you feel better to go through the motion, do it. And then letter C. Again, step 1, plus or minus our letters to the left. So I'm going to minus 2x, minus 2x. That leaves me with 1x minus 4 equals 3. Plus or minus my numbers to the right. Because it's a minus 4, I'm going to plus 4 on both sides. Cancels. 1x equals 7. Again, if it makes you feel better to go through the motion, then do it. And then one last problem here, guys. Cross off number 7. We're going to do this problem here, okay? Get your letters to the left. All right, so let's move our letters to the left. That 5A's got to go because it's positive. I'm going to minus. That cancels. I'm left with, watch your negatives. I cannot stress that enough. Negative 2A plus 12 equals 7. Get your numbers to the right. So I'm going to get rid of that plus 12, and I am going to minus 12 on both sides. That cancels. I'm left with negative 2A equals, be careful here, 7 minus 12 is negative 5. Okay, last step, guys. Multiply, divide. So I'm going to divide this side by negative 2, divide this side by negative 2. And we get that A equals positive 5 over 2. Now, I left it as a fraction, guys, because that cannot be reduced. We like fractions, but if it makes you feel better, you can plug that into your calculator and say that A equals 2.5. I would accept either of those answers, and I'm pretty sure your teachers would too. Okay, so now, guys, I want you to use the space on number 9 to do your class notes. Okay, go ahead and cross number 9 off and do your class notes here. If you have any questions, ask your teacher. Have a good day. Bye.